Okay, we're going to start with your first and last name on the back, your room number, and your grade level. And then flip it to the front. You can choose to turn your paper vertical or you can turn it horizontal. That is up to you. So I'm going to go vertical, and then we would draw a line here for the table and the wall. Now it's time to paint. So we are going to put a placemat underneath our painting paper, and then you'll get your paints at your table. You'll have your paint brushes, and you're going to start with your first color. And I'm going to bring this into view so that you can see I've got orange and purple. Those are the two colors I'm going to paint with. And I'm going to start with one brush, dip it, and make sure it's not dripping. If it is drippy, you can wipe it on the edge, but you probably won't even need to wipe it. And then what I'd like you to do is decide if the table's purple or the wall's purple or whatever color it is you're choosing. You're going to paint along that pencil line first. Get more when you run out. And then go ahead and paint the rest of the bottom space in that particular color. I'm going to go with a little bit bigger brush. You can use the big brush to start. Now you can see I'm using big strokes because it will go quickly, as well as you don't want any globs because it helps it dry quicker also. Alright, so when I'm finished with that one, when you are going to do a new color, you need to get a clean paintbrush. So I'm going to switch paintbrushes and color so that I'm not mixing the purple in with the orange. I am then going to paint almost up to that line. I'm going to wait and leave a little bit of space so that I'm not painting into the wet purple. Again, nice big strokes. Fill up that space quickly. And the placemat obviously is here so that you're not getting paint on the table. And you can see I'm putting my hand in an empty white space until I get closer to finishing, as to hold my paper still. Now I'm kind of running out of space now, but I'm going to go ahead and go up to this purple, trying not to mix it. I don't want them really mixing. When you run out of paint, go ahead and get more on your brush. And then I'm going to get this last little spot over here that I was holding my finger on. And now my paper is completely painted, the wall and the table. So I'm going to walk this to the drying rack. Next, what you're going to do while you're waiting for your painting to dry is get a teacup and a saucer stencil. So you're going to put these both on the piece of paper that's been provided for you. So you have to put them both on together to make sure they fit. Hold it nice and still while you trace. You want to do both. Remember to hold it still and go all the way around, and don't forget this little hole, and that's where the handle of this teacup saucer is. And you can see on here that this is where the opening of the cup would go, so if you want to put that in there because you might want that for later, go ahead and draw that in there. Alright, next what you're going to do is make sure your name and room number and grade are on there. And using crayon, you're going to go ahead and start putting some patterns inside your teacup and your saucer. We are using crayons because we are putting a nice heavy thick layer of that that waxy color. So when we talk about patterns, get creative and add in different kinds of lines or shapes. They can be lines or shapes you know, or they can be lines or shapes you have seen around and made up to use. So I would say a few colors is enough. And we want to try to cover most of the white. So this color looks very similar to my lines. I should have picked a different color, but that's okay. Now inside the cup, you're going to want to put your hot cocoa. So if my cocoa is inside here, I'm going to draw that oval and then I'm going to color it in nice and dark so that I can finish the patterns around the cocoa. Okay, and then if you want to add a different pattern, you can go and add some different patterns to this. It's okay if you go outside of your pencil lines because we are going to be cutting these out. So you can do some coloring mixed in with your patterns. Again, we do want to fill most of the white. And then come check this with the teacher. If it's ready, we're going to go ahead and cut it out with our scissors.